Welcome back to my channel. My name is DL and we're going to talk about how to create a signature coaching framework. And you can use this framework even if you're just starting out or even if you have a lot of clients. This framework will help you get more client results and it'll help you build curriculum, trainings, and resources for your clients. So the first step that you want to do when you're thinking about your coaching framework is you want to start off by writing down all of your clients' questions. And so when we think about when a client buys a coaching program, it's because they want their problem solved. They have all of these questions on, okay, what are the steps to losing weight? Okay, what are the steps to getting a divorce and how do I actually feel confident after this divorce? What are the steps to me getting a promotion at my job? What are the steps to me building a business? They have a lot of questions and they want your coaching program to answer them. So it's so important to think about, okay, when someone buys, what are the common questions that someone has when they join my coaching program? What are the questions that they have about the problems that they're going through in their life, in their career, in their business, whatever your niche is? It's so important to make your curriculum and your coaching framework based off of your clients' questions, not based off of what's in your head as the coach. This is one of the biggest questions and mistakes I get when I have my clients asking to put together their own coaching framework is they're like, oh, well, here are just my thoughts. You want to make sure it's based off of your clients' questions because your clients are at step 1, whereas you, the expert, you're at step 8, you're at step 12, you're at step 10. And so you want that list to ground you and to make sure that when someone buys your coaching program, it's actually answering their questions. The second step for your coaching framework is to make sure that you pick one result that you want to happen inside of your framework. Again, one of the mistakes that I see people make is they want their framework to solve every single problem under the sun. They want to make sure they eliminate every potential thing. And your client is typically only buying your coaching program to solve one main thing. They want to get a promotion. They want to get married. They want to lower their anxiety. They want to do other things. They want to heal their relationship with food. They do not want to solve world peace in your coaching program. And it's well intended by the coach. The coach wants to be supportive. The coach wants to make sure that they really are getting everything that they paid for. But what often happens when you have so many different results and you have so many confusing pieces of the puzzle is that the client gets confused, so then they don't even use your framework at all. They don't want to open up your videos. They don't want to look at it at all. So it's so important to pick one result that you want your clients to have in your curriculum inside of your framework. And so an example that I have is I worked with a health coach and I bought because I just wanted to get more energy. I wanted to look at my nutrition to get more energy. That was the one thing that I was buying for. And within the coaching relationship and within the coaching frameworks, I ended up having less period cramps. I had less acne. I had a lot more energy. I was meal planning more. I had all of these bonus results attached to it. But that wasn't confusing to me because I know the main goal that I had was having more energy and then everything else was a bonus. Once you solidify your result, you then want to decide on what are the steps that they need in order to get that result. And you want to think about it in phases and steps and not this long drawn out process because you want to be able to make sure to be like, okay, my client A is at step 2, client B is at step 4. And so you want to be able to guide and see where they at in your process. Are they just now learning about something but they haven't mastered it? But are they at the mastery stage and then they need to refine it? You want to make sure you have a step-by-step process for them to understand and go through. And it's also very, very useful for the client because they'll be able to actually see that their result is possible. They won't be overwhelmed. They won't be super confused. They'll be able to guide themselves through the steps. And that also cuts back on how many questions they ask you, how many times they have to reach out to you for support if they know where they are in your journey. And so once you pick that result, think about what are the steps that they need to do. Once you have those steps, you then need to go to the next part of the process, which is super, super important. Once you figured out your steps, you then need to think about, okay, where could they get stuck, where could they get confused, and where could it look super misleading or not clear. You want to scrutinize your process. You want someone to be like, okay, if this is the first time they're trying this, if this is the first experience they have with this, will they get stuck anywhere in the process? The answer is typically yes. So then you want to add in things and you want to make sure you're coaching on all of the areas where they could get stuck. Put on any sort of failure. You want to failure proof your curriculum and your framework. You want to make sure that you're adhering to any potential miss up or step that they could mess up on. So say you're a career coach and you have an interview process and you have interview steps. If someone doesn't get an interview, right, or if someone doesn't get that job, do you have a video or training for them so that they can recover? So you want to failure proof your curriculum by putting in the very natural failures that happen in the coaching relationship. For another example, inside of my program, 5-Figure Freedom, it's designed to help women of color part-time coaches make sales. I have a whole section on if you're not booking sales calls, do this. If you're not converting on your sales calls, try this. And so I failure-proof my curriculum and my coaching frameworks to make sure that even if they don't do everything perfectly, I still have a process to help them get results. So once you failure-proof your coaching framework, you then want to add on examples, you want to add on case studies, and you want to make sure that the curriculum, I call it, it comes to life, right? It makes it real. And so it's one thing for someone to learn something, but it's completely different to have them actually apply it, right? And see it in real life. And so you want to give case studies, you want to give examples, you want to give templates on what to do in this situation versus what to do in this situation. You want to make sure that they can actually apply it in real life. I was just talking to a client who's a life coach, and she was really trying to understand how could her clients apply her life coaching tools in their marriage, at their jobs, with their other relationships. You want to make sure that you're actually actualizing and making the coaching process come to life so that your people say, okay, this is what I'm learning, and then this is how I can apply it in these individual situations. You can use past clients, you can use your own story, you can even make up scenarios being like scenario A, scenario B, so they actually know how to use your framework in these different scenarios so they know what to do. So this is a really important last step that so many people forget. When you're actually putting together your coaching framework and you're outlining it in your course portal or you're outlining it in your Google Doc or whatever you do to give to your clients, you want to make sure the titles of all the trainings and all the lessons that you give them are what I call clickable. You want a client to be able to click on it. Let me give you an example. So say you're a dating coach and say you love doing dating meditations and manifestation practices, right? It's so important to not label those trainings as dating manifestation practice. Nobody knows what manifestation is. That's not a client question, looping back to the very first thing I said. So instead, you would say, do this before you go on a date, so that the client actually goes to the training and clicks on it. There's nothing worse than when a client buys a coaching program, they see all these videos and they think none of it's gonna solve their problems. It's not in their language, it's not clickable, it's not something that actually gets them interested. You want to make sure that all of your titles are in your client's language, all of your client's questions and their problems. I've even seen coaching frameworks that are literally all question-based, where they will literally just outline the whole entire question on if you have a question about this, if you have a question about that, if you want to know how to do this, inside of their curriculum and their coaching framework so that people can actually click on it so that they can open it up. Remember, we're in the online coaching industry where people buy courses all the time that just sit in their inbox because they looked at the library of what was available to them and they're like, I'm all right, I'm okay. So it's so important to make sure you have a clickable curriculum and that is exactly what your clients are asking for. So here are all of my strategies to putting together a very well thought out coaching framework that your clients actually use so that they can get results. Thank you so much for tuning into my video and I will see you in the next one.